So today we're going to talk about questions to ask when we are direct to a seller, when we're having a conversation with the seller. And then we're going to call some sellers and practice asking some of these questions. If you want a copy of this document, I will share it with you just in the chat or in the comment box wherever you're seeing this video. I will gladly share it with you. But I'm going to go over maybe 10 or 12 questions to ask when you're talking directly to the seller. You may have to just keep in mind that the person you're talking to may not have the answers, or they may not be as forthcoming with the answers to these questions. What do you all think you have to do before you can ask any of these questions? What do you have to be willing to do? You have to be
Kyle?
willing you have to actually be willing. Y'all see my picture? You have to be willing to call them. What's up,
Yeah.
Ramon Gary? Yeah, but you got to be willing to call them, right? So before you can make an offer or ask them questions, you absolutely have to be willing to call them, prospect, and that's step one. Okay, but let's assume that you got past step one. But anyways, you got to be willing to call the leads. Sometimes I think it's hard for us because we don't want to hear no. My daughter actually told me this yesterday, which I thought was pretty cool because I'm giving my children like 20-minute lessons right now on sales. They both go to public school and they don't learn sales in school. Did y'all learn sales in school? I didn't learn sales in school. They don't learn marketing in school. They do not. And so I told them that if we're going to keep sending them to school, I absolutely hate when they come home and tell me, if I ask them, what did you do today? And they say, we tested all day. Or last week, my son left for the day. Okay. He left for the day. No backpack, no binder, no pencil in his pocket. And so he's walking out and I'm asking him, hey, JC, like, where's your stuff? No instrument. He said, oh, we're going on a field trip today. And I was like, field trip where? And he said, we're going to a museum or something. I was like, okay, that's cool. But it just bothers me, okay? Because that's not teaching them anything that's going to help them take care of their family, right? It's a good day for them to enjoy each other, have time with their friends and teachers. But anyways, I'm doing 20-minute little mini series with them. And my daughter yesterday told me, she said, you know what, Dad? She said, I just don't want people to keep telling me no. That's what she said. She said, you mean the first person told me no? You mean I got to hear no 7 more times? Isn't that like the honesty from a child, right? How often do we just not want to hear people keep saying no? None of
A
us really
lot.
like the word. It's almost no it's the only way to get to the yes. So if you're not hearing no's, you're probably not hearing yeses either, right? And no comes in a lot of different forms. Anyways, I don't want to belabor that. This lady right here, I don't know if y'all heard this story right here. This lady right here, her name is Deshauna Barber. Deshauna Barber was in the military when somebody looked at her and told her that they thought she could be the next Miss USA. Have y'all heard this story?
I
Lady
think
on the lady
that's
on the left hand side.
yeah.
So
I've heard.
this was like 2016. She was in the military, so she buff. She's physical, and so the pictures that we're seeing right now, that looks like okay, she could be pretty or whatever, but that's not how she looked back then. And she tells the story about how she went in the pageant, submitted herself 7 times. She lost. Every year she went up, go through the pageant and lose. And then I think it was just last year, maybe 2024, 2023. I thought that was something else. So, anyways, we got to get past not wanting to hear the no's, which I think we all are a little nervous and we don't want to hear the no's. But if we can get past hearing the no's, then we can actually ask the seller some questions so that we can possibly make something happen. Okay. So, we're going to go through these questions to ask when you're on the phone with the seller. We're just going to talk through why it makes sense to ask these questions and even on some of them, what answer you're looking for. Okay. The top question that you want to find out from a seller when you're talking to them is why they're selling. This is the number one question that you want to find out the answer to. You can get this more easily from the seller than you can from a third party. So you want to find out why they're selling. The most simple way to ask them is ask them, why are they selling? Okay. If you ask them why they're selling and they say, because I want the money, that doesn't really give you any information. Okay. So question number two, what are you going to do with the money? Whatever they're going to do with the money, that's why they're selling. I'm selling some properties right now. It's property tax time. I got to pay property taxes, right? Or I'm selling properties right now because I need more cash in the bank, right? Got to pay back investors, stuff like that. So you want to ask why they're selling so that you get the answer and it tells you a little bit about their motivation, right? What's their motivation? Really, what you're trying to get to is how can you help them? If you can find out why they're selling, you can get to you can help them. Okay. Lately, I've talked to sellers that are selling because they're tired, they're old, they're just done dealing with it. They don't want to deal with the properties anymore. These are good answers to hear if you're looking for motivation. The next thing that's a good question to ask is when did you purchase the property? Okay, this is a good question. Some of this you can actually find out the answers to with asking the seller. So if you can find out these answers before you ask the seller, that's even better, right? So a lot of times, for example, if I go to a property on Zillow, I can actually find when they bought the property. I don't need to ask the seller that question, right? But if I'm talking to the seller, maybe it's the first call, or maybe we're just meeting for the first time, I haven't got that information. I just want to know how long they've owned it. Why do I want to know how long they owned it? Why y'all think I want to know how long they had it?
Equity.
Okay, that tells me potentially how much equity they have, right? If they've owned it for 30 years, they might have a lot of equity, right? If they just bought it last month, then I want to know, why are you selling it now? Was that your intention? Did you buy it to sell it quickly? Or did you run into some problem and now you realize you need to get out of it? Is the property occupied? This is another good question. This means that somebody living there. I have found that properties where somebody's living there don't need quite as much work as properties that have been vacant a long time. Now, I will say this, people will live in all kinds of conditions. So just because somebody's living there does not mean that the property is in great shape. Generally speaking, the property is probably in better condition if it's habitable or livable than if the property has been sitting vacant for 5, 10, 15 years. So I want to know if the property's occupied. If they say no, I want to, when was the last time somebody lived there? When is the last time somebody was living in the property? Why do I want to know that? Because it tells me, like, how long have the utilities been off? Are the utilities? It tells me a little bit about what I'm going to be walking into if I know the last time the property was occupied. Okay. Number 5, do you live near the property? I'm trying to find out about the seller's pain. Do they live near the property? Have they seen it recently? If they haven't seen the property recently, a lot of the information you ask them about the property condition, they may be giving you old information from the last time they saw it. And a lot can happen on a rental property in just a year, let alone 3 years or 5 years. So I want to ask, when's the last time you've seen the property? Because if I start asking them about the roof or the plumbing or the HVAC, I start asking them about this stuff, I want to know, am I getting accurate information? So the best seller will tell me, oh, I was just in the property this weekend. I just went and looked. Okay, now I can maybe trust a little bit more than if they tell me, oh, I haven't ever been in that property and I've had 5 tenants and I've never even been inside. They probably don't know very well the condition of the property. Number 6, how has the property been managed up to now? Is it a property management company? This gives you information about how the seller has taken care of the property. If they are managing the property themselves, again, they're going to be able to give you a lot more accurate information. If they have a property manager, then you may want to check with that property manager about property condition. Also, this is going to help you find out about the tenant that might be living there. If you're buying something with a tenant in it, you just want to know, has this been running before I get it? What's my job going to be like trying to turn this property around? Number 7, what do you think needs to be done to the property before the next tenant moves in? I really like this question. This kind of puts the seller and you on the same side. I ask this in a variety of ways. So sometimes I will ask them, what do you think I'll have to do to the property in order to rent it out? This puts us all on the same side instead of it being me versus them. Now we're planning together and what we're going to have to do to the property. Number 8, has anyone else visited the property or made an offer since you started selling it? I ask this all the time. Have you had any other offers? I want to know what feedback those persons gave. If somebody else looked at the property, what did they tell you about it? If somebody else made an offer, I want to know why you didn't take their offer. Like, what's going on to where the property isn't selling? I ask this all the time. Why do you think the property hasn't sold by now? This is going to give you feedback to help you make a better offer. And this is all most of the time without actually going to see the property. You can ask these questions. Do you all think you ask all of these questions every call, or do you sprinkle these into the conversation? What do you think?
I think it depends on the relationship that you build with the person, because sometimes you can start talking to a seller and they'll let you know a lot of the information on here.
Yeah, the more you let them talk, the more these questions get answered for sure. A lot of times, if you tell them, hey, why don't you just tell me a little bit about the property? They'll hit a lot of this stuff if you just let them talk. You don't want to be like a robot or very scripted where you're just going down the list, because if you do that, they'll peep out that you might not have as much experience. Okay. So, very important to sprinkle these questions in. Sometimes, if the seller says, I just want you to come look at the property, I would rather go look at and go this list because I'm going to sell better in person anyway. So if you're going to do an in-person visit, not a bad idea to maybe do something like this. Number 9, how soon are you looking to sell the property? Oh, that's a good one, right? You're trying to get their timeline. Remember that guy we called last week and he was like, if I don't sell it, I'll just rent it out again. He wasn't in any rush at all. He wasn't really motivated versus the people who are like, I got a lady right now. She's selling me her house for 15 grand in Tupelo. And she texts me every 2 or 3 days. How soon are we going to get this done? When are we getting it done? Are we still getting it done? So you can see the difference between the sellers and the timeline. This happens on buyer and seller side. If you're itching to sell quickly, you're probably going to sell it. All right, number 10, is there room for me to make an offer on this property where we both win? Ooh, that's a good one. Do you think there's room for me to make a offer on this property where we both win? This is something I usually will ask, especially an investor that's selling or somebody who seems sophisticated, like they seem like they're with it with property. Are you just looking to get as much as you can, or do you think there's a situation where we both can win on this deal? Okay. A lot of times they will say, I don't really care if you win, I need my money. Or I don't really care if you win, I don't know how you're going to use the property. So in those cases, those usually are not my sellers, right? Those are usually not people I'm going to buy from. I like people who want me to win and they're going to win as well. Okay. So win-wins really are in my interest when I'm doing a real estate deal. A lot of times they'll ask, what do you mean? Is there room for me to make an offer where we both win? Do y'all know it's okay for you to explain like what you do to your seller? I explain it on every call. I'm usually buying houses to flip them or rent them out. I'm not buying this house to live in it. So I need to ask you some questions because that's what I do for a living. And so if they know what I'm doing, there's no reason for me to lie. Sometimes they'll ask, are you a wholesaler? Sometimes I tell them, sometimes I wholesale. If I get in a good enough deal, sometimes I will wholesale it. I've got friends that buy too. I don't really believe in just flat out lying to people and telling them that you're not going to wholesale if that's what you're doing. That doesn't ever really work out. So it's probably a good idea to just be upfront with your seller as much as possible. Number 11, do you owe any money on the property? That's a good one. Okay. Oftentimes, in response to that one, they will just flat out tell you, yeah, I owe, or no, I don't have a loan. But every now and then they will say, why do you need to know that? And I like to tell them that in order for me to get you the best offer, I need to know all of the situation. Almost always, they're going to go ahead and tell you if they owe any money on the property. Number 12, last one on here says how much income is coming in on the property. If the property's rented, y'all, you need to know how much money it's bringing in. Okay. The reason is because that's going to affect how much you can offer for the property. It's going to affect your cash flow. It's going to affect whether or not you're going to need to get that person out of the property, right? Are you going to need to reposition them or raise the rent in order to make your deal work? These are great questions to ask sellers. Now, these questions, I will say, mostly have to do with finding out whether a seller is motivated, whether a seller is your ideal seller. Okay, that's what these mainly have to do with. There are a whole nother list of questions when you start talking about property condition. If you're talking about property condition, then you're probably asking more than this. Although lately, I have found it's a lot easier, y'all, just to ask the seller, do you have FaceTime? Do you mind just FaceTiming me and showing me around the property? That's almost better than me asking certain questions. Because if they say, oh no, I don't have FaceTime or I don't want to show the property right now, that tells me a lot right there. But if they actually start showing you the property, then you can ask, okay, when is the last time you replaced the flooring? Or when is the floor walking level? Are there any foundation problems? You can start asking based on what you're seeing in the photos. But if y'all want to jot this down, typically with condition, I'm asking in the last 5 years, have you replaced the roof? In the last 5 years, have you replaced any of the plumbing? In the last 5 years, have you replaced any of the electrical? In the last 5 years, have you done any major work to the property at all that I need to know about? Okay. Once you ask that, the answer is almost always no. Almost always no. Okay. So when the answer is no, just think you're going to have to replace all that. You're pretty much going to have to replace it all. And if you don't replace it when you first buy it, it's going to be replaced at the most inopportune. It's the hot water heater is going to go out on Mother's Day, or the roof is going to be leaking in the middle of a storm. I got 3 or 4 roofs I need to redo right now, and it's raining in Tupelo for mine all week. It's supposed to rain, so might as well just ask the seller if they've done it, right? And some of these things you don't even need to ask, because if you can see property, most of the time, if you can see condition pictures, if you can see, you don't even need to ask. What do y'all think is happening in the mind of the seller? What do y'all think is happening in the mind of the seller when they tell you no to all of those questions? Have you replaced the flooring in the last 5 years? What do y'all think is happening? When they say no, what do you think is happening in their mind?
They know price is going down.
They know. When I say, have you replaced the roof? When I say, do you have granite countertops? When I say that and they have to say no to it, in their mind, they know that the price is coming down. The psychology. And hopefully this helps as you think about some stuff to say. I will say this too, because I've been working with a couple of virtual assistants on this. Y'all do know it's okay to say, I think I have enough information right now. Do you mind if I just call you back a little bit later after I look into the property a little bit more? Y'all know it's okay, right? Because I know you're getting ready to do your first deal, right? If you run out of questions, it's okay to say, I'm going to look into this a little bit further. I think I have enough information for right now. Do you mind if I call you back in a little bit? Sometimes I will call them back in 30 minutes after I thought through, okay, what do I need to ask next? Or sometimes I will call them back in a day after I've really looked at the property or driven by. It's almost better for you to get off the phone than for you to run out of questions to ask and the conversation feels like you're not a professional or you don't know what you're doing. It's almost better just to say, I think I have enough information for right now. I'm going to look into this. Actually happened on 2 calls last week. Julian and I, I think we made about 5 calls last Wednesday. We got 2 people to offer owner financing out of those 5 calls, right? But on several of those calls, I don't really like the deals, right? The houses are old and they need a lot of work. And so on several of those calls, instead of me just agreeing to buy the property, Julian, I just told him, hey, do you mind if I just think about this and call you back, right? And then I text him and just said, hey, can you send me some more details about exactly how you would want to structure this? Sometimes it's easier to get off the phone if you feel like, okay, I don't want to make the wrong decision, or I need to ask somebody opinion on this, or I need to think about this a little bit more. What other questions do you all find? Ramon, I know you talk to sellers a lot. I know you're also listing properties. Like, what other questions do you find that really unlock information that you need to know? For those of you meeting people, what questions are you asking where you feel like you're getting a lot of information?
No, I think that's a pretty good list. If you get through all those questions, you should have more than enough information to make an offer or not.
Yeah, usually I don't get to ask all of those before they start saying, are you interested?
Yep.
Another question I like to ask is, so what if you don't sell this property in the next 30 days, what's going to happen? I like to ask that. Or I like to ask them, like, if you still have this property in 6 months, how will you feel about that? I probably ask that question more than I ask property condition questions, because I'm trying to find out, are they motivated, right? When I ask that question and they say, oh, there's no way I'm going to have this property in 6 months, it's going to be sold by then. That's who I want to be talking to, right? But a lot of sellers will say, oh, if I don't sell it in 6 months, I'll just keep it. I'll rent it out. Those are not my sellers, right? So how they're thinking about whether or not they're going to have that property or not is extremely important. All right, we're gonna call some sellers, see what we got. Anybody got a lead before I start looking at my list? Anybody got a lead that you want to call today? Anybody got a call that you've been maybe holding off on making that we can use? Isaac, got anybody? Got anything? Y'all got anything? Or y'all want me to just pick something?
Yeah, I don't have anything right now.
All right, so let's see here. Let's use the lead here. So this is what my leads look like right now. Okay, we're gonna call Thomas Snyder first. I haven't talked to Thomas Snyder. Thomas Snyder is selling a house in Dallas. Is his phone number, and my VA put some notes in here. Right, so she tells me he's interested in selling. He wants to have our legal documents with the offer. He also wants to know our company for assurance. He doesn't do emails. So he wants mail in writing. This would be an interesting fella. Let me just see what I'm looking at. $700,000 house. This is not my typical deal. I'm looking at photos. A little brick house. It has a garage built in 1960. So it's expensive. Look right here. I can see that he bought the house in 2017. So I can see he bought the house in 2017 for 400K, or at least it was listed for that. So property values have gone up quite a bit since 2017, it seems. I can see a lot of ways like this is not my typical buyer, not my typical seller. But we still make the call because you never know. You never know what he's dealing with or what he might have going on. So now we got that information. Let's give him a call, see what's going on. Hey, how many deals can you get if you don't call him? See what I'm saying? You can't get no deals if you don't call him. Okay. So we got to call him. Let's see what happens.
Oh my-
We're going to call him again. You're darn right. We're going to call him again. Oh, he didn't answer. Hold on. Maybe that was him trying to call me back. I call him twice because a lot of people answer on the second call. So we call him twice. Hey, this is John Crutchfield calling for Thomas Snyder. I will send you a text message as well. Had a property that you were looking to sell on Creekmore Circle, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I'm interested in buying. So I'll send you a text message. Just shoot me a text back or give me a call. All right. So after we leave the voicemail, we also send a text message. Okay. And usually the text message is going to say the same thing as the voicemail said. So I'll say something like, this is John Crutchfield. If nobody had talked to him, I would include the address because the address might not be right. So I would say, I'm interested in buying this house. When's a good time to talk? Okay. And I shoot him a text message. And that time it bounced back. So the number that we have is not it doesn't look like it's a cell phone. It must be a work phone. So this is one where we might have to call him back quite a few times before we get him back on the phone. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one, see if we can get somebody on the phone with the time that we have left here. Any questions or comments so far while I'm looking up this next one here? Jonesboro, Georgia. I feel like I've talked to this guy before. Any questions or comments so far? Anybody come up with a seller that y'all want to call here? All right, let's try this one. This is Venice Billings.
The number you have reached is not in service. This is a recording.
470. Oh, I gotta actually dial the right number. See, I do that sometimes too. Anybody else do that sometimes? You dial the wrong number because you missed a digit? That was me. Okay, y'all making me feel like I'm the only one who do it. Hey, this is John. Hey, this is John Crutchfield. How you doing? I'm calling for Mr. Venice.
This is him. Go ahead.
I got a note that you might be looking to sell 2027 Freeman, and I buy a few houses every now and then. I saw that this one here, maybe it used to be, maybe it's your mom's house.
Right now, we're not doing it right this minute. It may be like a couple of months if we decide to do it. And it's maybe 3 or 4 months right now. So it's been put on the postpone right now.
What happened to make you slow down? Because you filled out a form on, I think, my website, maybe.
Yeah, I feel a couple of things. I think right now it's got a change of heart. I think that it's not just myself.
Okay.
So,
you live in the house right now?
No.
Okay.
I'm in there and out of there. But yeah.
Is she live? She's living there though.
Yeah, I'm there sometimes. But then I got somebody else that's there as well. So it's a lot of factors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But this is a number to get in contact with you and if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. That's what I do for a living. What you do for a living, man?
I do a couple of things.
Look, I do a couple of things nowadays.
Yeah, let me hit you back. I'm actually at work, so I'm gonna have to hit you back here now.
Hey, I'm gonna hold you to that because maybe we can make some money together.
Okay, not a problem.
All right, bye.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right. So Venice Billings says his mom has changed her mind, which is what my lead says. He's trying to convince his mother to sell. He's open to offers. This is why I like to talk directly to the seller, right? Because sometimes the person that you're talking to is not the decision maker. I also want y'all to notice that when you get them on the phone, you don't just hang up if they're not interested in the property. You can still have a conversation with them, see what they're working on. You can see if they're interested in investing in real estate. Hopefully y'all see. I was like, and I will text him back and be like, hey, let's follow up. Let's have a conversation, see what he's working on, since it sounds like he might have some entrepreneur in him as well. All right, let's try one more since we got a little bit more time and then we'll wrap up today. Let's look at one. She may list these. She's open to direct offers. That's Illinois. I do not like cold weather Illinois, but it's sunny there right now. Hey, Miss Wendy, this is John Crutchfield. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm a real estate guy, and I had a note left for me saying that you might be looking to sell some houses in, is it Kankakee?
Yeah.
I can't say it. How you say it?
Kankakee. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Are you still looking to sell like the 1781 Sunnyside?
Yes.
Okay. You got 2 houses there you're selling?
I have more than that. I have 2 houses, a duplex, a 4-unit, another duplex, and a house in Moment, Illinois.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Are
About
these-
15 minutes away.
Are these yours?
My mother has a couple.
Okay. And you all just, what's the reason you're looking to sell?
We're retiring.
Okay. Is real estate is it worth buying real estate?
It's been good for us. Are you in the Kankakee area? Are you in that area?
No, I'm actually based in Dallas is where I'm at, but I do deals all over.
Okay.
My best friend is in Peoria.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you a few questions if you don't mind. The two that you're definitely selling are, I had a note that they're vacant.
Those two houses are, the one on Sunnyside and the one on South.
Yeah, South Third.
Third, yeah.
Okay.
They're vacant.
Okay. And it says, you said they didn't really need any repairs.
The one on South Third, I'm not sure about. It might need some repairs. The one on Sunnyside doesn't really need any, pretty much ready to go.
Okay. And you haven't listed them yet, right? Because I think you said you may list them soon, but right now
Right.
you haven't listed them.
No.
Okay. And you wanted 180,000 for both?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Have you gotten any other offers that you've turned down, or so far you haven't gotten any other offers?
I haven't really been actively selling.
Okay. And just one more question. How did you manage these? Did you have a management company or
I have a manager. He's not a company. He's just a
one
guy.
person? Okay.
Yeah.
How could I get access to these if I wanted to take a look at them?
Through my guy.
Okay. So
Okay.
after I look at my numbers and stuff, if I'm interested in looking at them, then is it okay if I just text you? Do you get text on this number?
Yeah, that's the best.
Okay. I'm going to text you in just a minute. I need to kind of look up values here where the offers come in.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Okay.
sick of being a landlord.
Okay. I
It
appreciate
was good, but I'm old.
Yeah. I'm 38 and
that's great.
you told me it was worth it.
Good,
Yeah.
because I've already sold a lot, and
Okay.
I was able to help my kids get in a house out here. Yeah,
Okay.
it's worth it.
And you were okay with managing from out of town. Like you just basically found somebody to help you and that allowed
Yeah.
you to live. What part of California
Yeah.
are you in?
Right now, we just moved to Sacramento, but we were 35 years in Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Okay.
Mhm.
That beautiful weather.
Yeah, Santa Cruz. Yeah, now we're up in the heat, 115 in the summer.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
Then I'll text you back and maybe we'll hop on another call. But I appreciate you, Miss Wendy. I'm John Crutchfield, by the way.
Okay,
Hey, thank you.
nice talking with you.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
Okay, bye.
So this is the very definition of motivation. Did anybody else hear the motivation on that call? If I was trying to find a sample call for seller motivation, this would be the call. What did y'all hear that tells you this lady's motivated?
I'm tired of being a landlord.
She said, I'm done. I'm tired. She said, it's been good to me. And I needed to hear that because y'all, this business is not easy. But she said, this business has been good to me, but I'm done. I'm tired. Okay. She hasn't listed them. So these, Twana, I'm thinking about you in particular. I would rather talk to 10 people like this than people who tell me, I just want as much money as I could possibly get, and they rushing me off the phone.
Right.
Now, I could have stayed on the phone with her for an hour, okay? But I'm looking at this location and I'm like, Kankakee, Illinois. I need to go do more research before I keep talking to her, right? So just like I told you, a lot of times I will tell them, I'm going to look into this a little bit more and call you later. The reason why I do that is because I don't like spending time on a deal until I know she's motivated. So many times we do all the research, we do a bunch of research and analysis and run comps and ask for all this stuff before we actually even know that they're a motivated seller. So this lady right here, this would be like, what color will we marking these, Julian? This is yellow. So this is another yellow lead off of this list that's probably going to be a contract, okay? She says she might list it soon, but she still hadn't listed it. I think I got this lead last week. So she's not in a rush and she just picked up the phone. So with the time that we have left, let's just look at one of them. Y'all Kankakee? I ain't never heard that in my life.
And then also too, another thing with that being Illinois, what I found out is no, it's not landlord friendly, but there are like there's one section up there that a young lady was doing some property management, and they was, I guess the government, they was more in with them where they had a little bit more control over it, being that it wasn't landlord friendly. So yeah, that landlord friendly thing. But
yeah, I definitely would be weary of Illinois for some of the landlord stuff. So Chicago is pretty much like the closest place. Okay, so one of the things that we could do is we could go to Kankakee, Illinois to Chicago. Okay, it's 1 hour away and it's an hour south. It's pushing it. It's like a long way. Then we've got another big investor that buys a lot in Peoria. So I'm looking, how far is Peoria away? She told me it was an hour. It's 2 hours. Okay, so Peoria is 2 hours. Chicago is 1 hour. Another thing I'll do is I'll go to realtor.com. Let's just see what's going on in Kankakee. I don't know how she said it. Let's see what's happening. So I go to realtor.com if my internet was to work today. There it
She
is.
said both of them was empty too.
She did. She
Mhm.
really is done. She's not putting no tenants in them. She ready to get rid of them. Okay. Kankakee, Illinois. So we looking this up on realtor.com. Let's just see if anything says there. I gotta look up how to spell it. All right, so there's 154 homes on the market there. That's actually surprising. I wouldn't have thought that there would be so many houses on the market in Kankakee. Okay, which makes me say, let's look up Kankakee's population because I would have thought, you see that? It's 23,000 people there. I'm liking this better. I thought that was gonna be like 500 people. There's 23,000 people there. There's actually people there. Okay, so then we look at the homes on the market, lowest priced homes on the market. Let's look for just houses only. Okay, I see some homes on the market here. And now I'm just going to count the first 20 houses and see if any of them are pending. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 homes. We looked at the first 20. How many are pending? Like 3, 4? Pending is the yellow ones, the ones that say pending. That means they might be under contract. So I saw 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a foreclosure. Well, it's not a hot market. Like it's not a really hot market. There's 95 homes, the first 20 of them, but it's also not a totally dead market. There are homes that are pending here. So that means like people do buy every now and then. I'm looking here. It's a slow market though. What are you seeing? Is the market slow or is the market fine? What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's definitely slower.
Slower.
Like they're selling them, it just take a little bit longer.
And y'all see these contingent deals, these ones that say contingent, that means it's under contract, but they're looking for their next, they got to wait on somebody to buy their house, right? So these contingents may never sell if the person can't sell their house. Slower market for sure. One's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and one's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Okay. So the next thing I'll do is I will actually go to realtor.com and just click rent, and then I'll put in the same thing, the city name. All right. I see 44 rentals on the market. Okay. And I'm just going to choose single family homes because that's what these are. There's 19 of them. I sort by lowest to high. Okay. There's a house for rent for $750. There's an apartment for rent for $795. The cheapest 2-bedroom house is $1,200. Illinois, y'all got them high rents. They have high rents. The cheapest 2-bedroom house that I see is $1,200. Okay. She's already said that she just wants 90 a house. Okay. So now let's look at and see what Zillow's telling us, or realtor.com. Let's start there. She said don't need any work, but these photos, this one needed a little bit of work. I don't know how old these photos are, but it does need some work. Built in 1950. Realtor.com says the value is $72,000. So she might be a little high. Let's see what else we see. All right, y'all see this? This is information. She listed it for sale for $70,000 in December of 2022. It didn't sell. She took it down. I don't know if she found a tenant or what, but do y'all see what she bought it for? This is why we in the real estate game. This is the details you can see when you do a little bit of research. See, I can't do all of this while I'm on the phone with her, but now that I know she's motivated, this gives me an idea of what's going on, right? So when I get back on the phone with her, I can say, you listed it a couple of years ago and it didn't sell. Is there a reason why you didn't sell it? Okay. Twana was talking about equity. Twana, do you think she has equity? Probably.
Paid off.
She probably has equity. She bought it in 2016 for 22.5 or less. We don't. Old houses have their problems. So we know 90 is probably not a good idea. It's probably not something we're going to offer for this one. Let's look at this other one real quick. Hey, if y'all got to jump off, I'll catch y'all later. If you need help trying to do your next real estate deal and you watch this video, just hit me up. We're trying to help people do more deals in 2025. So just hit me up if you're trying to do your next real estate deal and you want to work together. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, here it is. So this is the other one that she mentioned. It's a 4-bedroom one according to this. And she said neither one of these houses need work, but these pictures, they needed some work. So she must have did some work to them.
So she may not exactly know.
She bought this one for $17,000 in 2017. So she probably did do some renovations to these just based on what she's saying. She's asking for 180 a piece, but it sounds unrealistic. Any questions or comments before we get out of time here? I know we're out of time. What I'll do with this one is we'll call her back, triage the property condition a little bit more, and then we'll also just see how she came up with the 180. Like, how did she come up with that? She definitely seems tired, so our offer probably is going to be low enough to wholesale these. I'm not interested in owning these, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to pitch her like a good deal for a wholesale or a good deal for owner financing.
Because she said she had more.
And she has more. Her mom does too. If you could put a package together of these, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That could potentially be wholesaled to somebody else. That might not be a bad play. But I don't want to own any rentals in Illinois, but it wouldn't be a bad way to make money if you could wholesale them. All right. Anybody else got anything else today we all need to know? Anyways. All right, y'all. We'll chat with you later. Thanks for jumping on today. If you know somebody who could be helped by these, we do these every Monday at 12, trying to keep them going. So we'll talk soon.